Welcome back to Wichita's Biz That Is, and our guest today, Sam Kuhns. And Sam has just gotten to the point where a guy who hadn't cooked is beginning to cook really good food, and people are talking about it.
Well, it's like I was saying, we started cooking this and food and dinners and stuff, and I knew a bunch of people that I'd worked with, and so I just called them up and said, "Hey, look, I'm making lunch." And it was like $4.95 or something, and it come with the tea and the whole 9 yards. And so each day I had just one thing on the menu, one special, and I would prepare these, the morning of, and I cooked out of my kitchen at my house. I had no idea you couldn't do that. But my good buddy Big Al was helping me on deliveries, and so I remember it clearly, was one Monday we were gone, and Big Al was there answering the phone from people calling for their order for the next day. Well, one of the calls was a fella and asked if we were open, and Big Al said, "No, but we'll be open tomorrow if you want to leave an order." He said, "Well, you better not be. This is Larry Blessing with the Sedgwick County Health Department."
Oh my.
So he got on the phone, called me, so we rushed back to town. And I called him the next day. We were not open, by the way.
Yeah, I figured that.
So I called him. I said, "Well, here's what I'm doing. I'm just making some lunches to deliver to my friends. I'm not creating any trouble, or, it's all sanitary and all that stuff." He says, "Well, according to the health department rules, it has to be physically separated from your living quarters." And, gosh, what am I going to do, Because I thought we'd sell like 15 or 20 lunches. That was a great day.
So this is the genesis of corporate catering, or Air Capital.
Air Capital. Well, yeah, my catering business. And I talked to the health department guy, and so I went out to the garage, and I said, "Well, look, this is physically separated from the house, or from our living quarters." He looked around and kind of laughed and thought we'd never get up to code, because it was just a garage. I mean, it wasn't nothing more than that.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, sure, go ahead, go for it. And so a good friend of mine that had Andrew's paint store down here, the Cody's, he hooked me up with a painting job, painting a house over here in College Hill area. And I'd done some painting anyway. And so, okay, fine. So I took on his job, and he kind of guided me a little bit. And I ended up making about $1,500 profit on the deal. So
plow that in the business.
Yeah, I'm in. So I got the triple sink, and I got the hand sink, and did everything I was supposed to. And I called the health department back and said, "Hey, I'm ready." He, I don't think he believed me when I was talking to him, and said, "Well, I'll try to get out there." Well, I need to get going. So he comes out the next day, and he looks around and said, "Yeah, this looks good." And it did. I was real happy, real proud of our effort. So,
So you're off and running.
It's off and running. He had an A rating. And
how do you develop a catering business?
Well, it's you do a good job, and people will talk.
Word of mouth.
If someone's happy, they'll tell 10 of their friends. If someone's not happy, they'll tell 25.
Yeah, that's right.
So every meal, and it's the same in any business. What you do today is built on what you did yesterday. The next meal that I make, in my mind, is going to be better than the one I made today. And that's just how our philosophy is, and it's true, and I can prove it, from not knowing a thing to wanting to do it, to the point where I paid attention and learned from other people.
Sure.
And
when did you actually open up sort of a separate facility here in Sedgwick County?
I did some work. I always, go to church and believe and all that stuff. And some folks at Central Community Church had need for food service, and so they invited me to come over to their kitchen And you know, I struggled with meeting the, you know, insurance. At this point, the business kicks in. You know, you got insurance, you got unemployment, you got workman's comp, you got all these things that licensing, everything. So I struggled to get it, but I finally got it. You know, and so I moved into Central Community Church. You know, professional kitchen, everything you could do, everything you needed.
Right.
And from there, I took care of all their needs. Plus, I developed my catering business. And, you know, and like I said, each year we got a little bit better, a little bit bigger.
Have you expanded sort of from the original concept? Are you doing things in just with the catering? I'm not talking about your new restaurant.
No, well, we have, you know, I've been doing this over 20 years, and, you know, information is available as far as teaching yourself, and just from experience, for one thing. But we can do any menu. We've done real simple things, and, you know, real fancy things, you know.
Do you do many weddings?
Weddings is good business. We like doing weddings. We're fair priced, and you have people are always looking for the most part, they're looking for something that's a bargain. You know, they don't want it to cheap. You don't want to be the lowest price in town, because that just doesn't give people confidence. But you know, you can't be the highest price either, because you know the money is tight.
I understand. And as a guy with 5 daughters, I know a little bit about the expense of weddings.
But weddings are good.
We're going to take a break, and we'll be back with the last segment of Wichita's Biz That Is in just a moment.